Welcome to my channel. It really means a lot to me to subscribe to the channel. Alright, let's be real for a second. It's kinda hilarious, isn't it? Most of us spend our entire workday practically drooling over our free time, counting down the minutes until we're finally off the clock. But then guess what happens when evening rolls around? Yeah, we totally blow it. We end up just scrolling like zombies, watching random cat videos, or is that just me? Or just sitting there feeling utterly wiped out, too tired to do anything remotely interesting. Hey, I get it. Like, really get it. I used to be the absolute king of wasted evenings. Evenings were just this fuzzy, exhausted mess of missed chances. Until something completely flipped the switch on how I spent those precious after-work hours. Now, before you groan and think, oh, another list of impossible life hacks, hold up, seriously, pause for a second. What you're about to hear isn't some rigid rulebook or a bunch of totally unrealistic routines. Nope. These are things that actually work, proven strategies I've seen totally transform people's evenings and my own. They work with your natural energy flow, not against it. We're talking simple stuff, genuinely simple changes that somehow turn your evenings from just recovery mode into heck yeah, let's grow time. In the next little bit, maybe grab a notebook, wink wink, we're gonna dive into 8 seriously cool systems that team up to help you totally reclaim your evenings. We're covering everything from managing your energy, which, heads up, is probably different than you think, to keeping that phone from eating your soul, and from sneaky psychological tricks to straight-up practical habits. Basically, it's the secret sauce to making your evenings the absolute best part of your day. And I mean that. Chapter 1, get your evening act together routines and structure. Okay, listen up. How you hang out in the evenings actually shapes your entire life. No pressure, right? But here's where most folks totally miss the mark. They freak out about time management when what they really need is energy management. Think about it. Your evening isn't just boring numbers on a clock. Nah, it's all about your energy levels, your brain space, and if you can actually, enjoy life after work. And that's the stuff we need to tackle together. So let's kick things off with something I do religiously, the shutdown ritual. It's so simple, it's almost stupid. When you finish work, literally just stand up, take 3 big, dramatic breaths, and physically close the laptop. Why is this genius? It's not just some cute little habit. It's a psychological trigger that screams to your brain, work mode off. Next up, where most people stumble, we gotta slap on a strategy called the 90-minute evening block system. Your awesome brain naturally works in these cool 90-minute focus cycles. So instead of looking at your evening as one giant blob of overwhelming free time, because, let's be honest, it feels that way sometimes, we're gonna chop it up into what I like to call power blocks. I'll break it down. Block 1, recovery. This is your official chill-out zone, no decisions allowed, no planning, just pure, unadulterated recharging. And yeah, you absolutely need this block. Block 2, growth. Whether you're learning something cool, getting your body moving, or messing around with a hobby, this is when your energy starts to do a little happy dance and climb back up. Block 3, connection. Your energy is feeling balanced now, making it the perfect time for actual, quality hangouts with your squad or family. Here's a little mind blower that totally changed my game: reverse scheduling. Most folks plan their day from morning to night, right? But get this, your evening messes with your morning way more than your morning messes with your evening. Mind blown yet? So we're gonna flip the script. Start by figuring out when you want to crash, and then build your evening blocks backward from there. And finally, the tiny but mighty 2-minute evening reset. Every single time you switch activities, like going from chilling to, say, reading, take just 120 seconds to literally reset your space. Clear off that coffee table. Tweak the lighting so it feels cozy. Maybe even change out of those work clothes if you're still wearing them, no judgment. These sound like the smallest things ever, but they create seriously massive shifts. They pack a huge punch. Chapter 2, Taming the digital beast, digital wellness. Alright, let's chat about the thing that haunts us all. A well-designed evening requires some digital boundaries. People. Think of it like this comparison. Vampires in old movies totally drained energy, right? Well, your phone and laptop, they're basically energy vampires, silently sucking the life out of your evening potential. But don't worry, I'm gonna show you how to turn these evening-destroying devices into evening-enhancing sidekicks. Let me drop an idea on you that's a little wild. App mortality. The challenge: every single evening, delete one app from your phone. The classic freakout is, oh my god, but what if I need it tomorrow? And that's totally fine. You can always just put it back. But here's the crazy part. 90% of the time, you won't even remember which app you deleted. Seriously, here's another cool trick. The analog hour. It's elegantly simple. An hour before you hit the hay, your devices go to sleep before you do. But the absolute critical piece that most people totally miss? Don't just turn them off, actually, put them in a completely different room. Seriously, make your bedroom this amazing sanctuary. No more feeling like it's just some satellite office. Just to be super clear, digital minimalism isn't about living like we're suddenly back in 1985. It's about being intentional with how you use technology. What works wonders? Choose 3 essential apps for your evening. That's it. Everything else, I've learned, is just annoying digital noise. Another killer move is what I call screen life separation tactics. The big idea here is to create physical barriers between you and your glowing rectangles. For instance, try putting your phone charger in the kitchen, keep your laptop tucked away in a drawer. Use an actual, old-school alarm clock instead of your phone. These sound like such tiny little tweaks, but they build what I like to call a fortress around your evening peace. Remember this golden rule: technology should serve your evening, not steal it. These aren't just random rules I'm throwing at you. They're like keys to unlocking the awesome evening you actually deserve. Chapter 3: Mind Games Psychological Techniques. Okay, devices? Check. Now let's tackle something just as huge: our minds. Your mind is basically the control center for your evening. And these psychological techniques, they're not just fluffy tips from a self-help book. They're real-deal transformations I've seen happen, both for me and for tons of other people I've worked with. Here's a big aha moment that changed how I see screens. What I call digital sunset protocols. Think about it. Your brain literally can't tell the difference between the fake light from your screen and the real light from the sun. So when you're glued to those screens until midnight, your brain is convinced it's high noon. But the key insight isn't just when you look at screens. It's about how you smoothly transition away from them. Something that seriously leveled up my evenings was creating what I call your evening sanctuary. And no, this isn't just about tossing a few comfy pillows around. It's actually about building a physical space that whispers to your brain, okay, transformation time starts now. Think soft, cozy lighting, nice textures, calm colors. See, your environment talks directly to your subconscious like a little secret message. Here's a cool little brain hack: future self-journaling. Every evening, try writing a note or maybe an email to your morning self. But here's the psychological twist that makes all the difference. Don't write what you should do. Instead, write how you want to feel. Your brain is amazing. It can totally reverse engineer the path to get you to those feelings. Speaking of shifting your mindset, consider what I call the evening energy debt mindset. Most people see their evening like borrowed time they'll have to pay back tomorrow. But the flip I recommend: stop thinking that way. Your evening isn't some annoying debt you're stuck paying off. Think of it as an investment you're making. Every single moment you rest and recharge is actually building up tomorrow's energy reserves. This approach is a total game changer, and get this, it's called the decision elimination strategy. By the time evening hits, your decision-making muscles are literally fried. Like totally wiped out. So, what's the smartest move? Get rid of every possible decision you can beforehand. Lay out your clothes for tomorrow. Figure out your meals in advance. Set up your morning coffee station. Your future, less tired self will send you a thank you note. Chapter 4: Feeling the Feels, Mindfulness and Emotional Intelligence. The way we handle our thoughts naturally helps us figure out our emotions. Your emotions aren't some pesky things you need to control or shove down. No way, they're actually signals just waiting for you to understand them. And in the evening, these signals become incredibly powerful tools for changing things up. First up, something you might not expect: micro-meditation moments. Okay, forget everything you pictured about sitting cross-legged for an hour unless you're into that. We're talking way smaller. For example, when you pour that evening tea, I literally do this every single day. Just feel the warmth of the cup. When you flop onto your couch, notice 3 different spots where your body is touching the surface. These tiny bursts of awareness, they work like hitting the reset button for your brain. One practice totally transformed my evenings, and it's creating an evening awareness protocol. See, most of us, yep, me too, once upon a time just zoomed through our evenings on autopilot. But I figured something out. Your evening has a rhythm, a pulse. Try this every hour. Take just 10 seconds to simply name the emotion you're feeling right then. That's it, just name it. Don't try to fix it or change it. This simple act of labeling your emotions actually slashes their power over you by 40%. This is where the magic happens: present moment anchoring. Pick 3 regular evening activities. Maybe it's brushing your teeth, doing the dishes, or changing into PJs. These become your mindfulness anchors. When you do these things, you're not just going through the motions. You're actually practicing being present. I found that these totally boring, everyday moments can become your most powerful meditation sessions. Try practicing emotional energy tracking. Your emotions aren't just random chaos. Nope, they follow patterns, just like everything else in the universe. Give this a go. Keep a super simple energy scale, maybe from 1 to 10. Track it 3 times each evening. After just 2 weeks, you'll start seeing your emotional ups and downs as clearly as your daily schedule. The evening emotional audit might sound intense, but it's actually freeing. Before you hop into bed, ask yourself 3 simple questions. What gave me energy today? What sucked the energy out of me? What surprised me? And here's the important part: don't write essays. Single words are perfectly fine. You're not analyzing your therapist here. You're just acknowledging stuff. The most valuable lesson I've ever learned about evening emotions? They're not annoying obstacles to bulldoze through. They're messages waiting for you to decode. When you start actually listening to them with curiosity instead of judging yourself, something incredible happens. They become your most reliable GPS for a fulfilled life. Chapter 5: Human Connection Stuff, Social Strategies and Dynamics. Beyond all the deep inner work we've been talking about, there's another absolutely crucial piece to this whole puzzle: our social connections. Think about it. We talk about physical energy, right? Well, your social energy matters just as much. And getting a handle on this part is key to creating evenings that actually fill you up instead of leaving you feeling totally drained and empty. Look at it this way: your social battery works exactly like your phone battery. Just like you check your phone's charge, you gotta know exactly how much social juice you've got left. That's what I call the social battery management system. Some activities actually charge you up, while others drain you dry. The key insight here is figuring out your unique pattern. Instead of trying to keep 20 different friendships alive, which, trust me, I learned the hard way, does not work, focus on building 3 to 5 deep connections. These folks become your evening tribe. They're the ones who get it, who understand that sometimes you need a hug, and sometimes you just need to be left alone. Also, something super important that people rarely talk about: energy vampires. And I want to be totally clear here, these aren't bad people. They're just people whose energy vibes totally clash with yours. Try this, do what I call an energy vampire audit. Start paying attention to which evening social hangs leave you feeling awesome versus totally wiped out. Remember, this isn't about avoiding people altogether. It's about being smart about when you hang out. The social recharge protocol is like your safety net. My observations show this works. For every hour of social interaction you plan, schedule in 15 minutes of quiet solo time. Think of it like cooling down after a workout. You wouldn't just stop sprinting and plop down instantly, right? You need to walk it off first. What totally shifted my perspective is the connection-productivity balance. What if connection is productivity? Those evening chats might actually be secretly boosting your creativity, your problem-solving skills, and your emotional resilience in ways we haven't even realized. Think about mapping your social energy the same way you'd map a city. Some places naturally energize you, others totally drain you. Some people lift you up, others ... Well, they just require more energy than you might have in the tank. And understand this, being selective isn't being selfish, it's about being sustainable. It's about creating evenings that actually work for everyone involved. Chapter 6: Hacking Your Habits: Creative Approaches for Habit Formation. Okay, now that we've got a handle on the social stuff, we can turn these insights into habits that actually stick. An insight from working with literally hundreds of people is this: building evening habits isn't about forcing yourself to change. It's about becoming a clever architect of tiny, powerful actions that somehow transform your life naturally. The keyword, naturally, try micro-habit stacking. Instead of trying to build one giant, overwhelming habit which, let's be honest, never works, we stack tiny ones together. Each one should take less than 30 seconds. That's the sweet spot. It works like this: when you walk through your front door, hang your keys. Take off your shoes, change your clothes, see what happened there. 3 micro habits, 1 natural moment, genius. Something significant emerges when you find your evening keystone habit. Think of it like the first domino that makes all the others fall down. For me personally, it's making a cup of tea. Such a simple, boring thing, right? But this simple act sends a signal to my brain. The evening transformation is starting now. And from there, everything else just magically flows. Most people make this one huge mistake. I definitely did. They tried to stick to just one hobby every single evening. That's basically like eating the same meal day after day after day. Yawn. Instead, try creating a wheel of 4 different activities. Reading, doodling, listening to music, crafting ... Whatever floats your boat, just rotate through them. Your brain absolutely adores this variety, and it totally eliminates evening boredom. Another cool thing you can try is the daily experiment protocol. It sounds like you're in a science lab, but it's actually super playful. Each evening, try one tiny new thing. Maybe sit in a different chair than usual. I started doing this, and it seriously changed my perspective. Try using your non-dominant hand for something simple. Play music you've never, ever heard before. These small experiments, they keep your brain flexible and your evenings interesting. This is where the real magic happens: creative cross-pollination. Start letting your evening activities just blend together naturally. If you're learning guitar, maybe try drawing the chord patterns. If you're reading a book, actually act out the scenes when no one's watching. I found that when activities mix like this, your brain builds these amazing new neural pathways. Evening boredom, it literally becomes impossible. And finally, a super valuable lesson I seriously wish I'd known years ago is to just embrace the idea of a creative fallow period. Sometimes, your evening energy is just gonna be in the basement. But here's the brilliant part: that's not failure. It's actually your brain's natural reset button. These quiet moments aren't empty space at all. They're like a field resting between harvests, getting ready for your next burst of awesomeness. Chapter 7: Powering Up Energy Management, Brains and Bodies. Alright, all these cool habits we've been jabbering about, they need energy to actually happen. Think of your brain and body as the awesome power plants of your evening. And what's really cool? Understanding how to manage them changes everything about those hours after work. First up, movement snacking. Forget forcing yourself into a full-blown workout when you're already dragging. Instead, we're gonna take tiny little bites of movement throughout your evening. It's ridiculously easy. Stand up every 30 minutes, stretch for a minute. Do 5 pathetic jumping jacks between tasks. And here's the important bit, these aren't about exercise. They're energy boosters. I've noticed something super interesting about evening energy. It follows this totally natural curve. Picture it like a wave, it doesn't just stay flat. And that's actually awesome. From about 5 to 7 p.m., your energy naturally does a little dip. We all feel it, then, from 7 to 9, it starts to rise again. After 9 p.m., it should slowly start heading downhill to get you ready for sleep. Working with this natural wave, not against it, is the real secret weapon for mastering your evening energy. Try this technique, the energy audit. Think of yourself as a personal evening scientist for 1 week. Rate your energy every hour from 1 to 10. Write down what you're doing, what you're shoving in your face, what you're thinking about. You'll start seeing patterns pop up. Some activities totally drain you. Others recharge you like a supercharger, and remember this isn't about judging yourself. It's about discovery. Now, this next idea is key, mental energy preservation. Your brain has a limited supply of decision-making power each day. By evening, it's running on fumes. That's why we gotta establish your evening thought diet. You have to be super picky about what gets your precious remaining mental energy. Scrolling through social media aimlessly? That's basically junk food for your brain. But having a deep chat or diving into creative work, that's brain nutrition. Your evening energy isn't about just pushing through when you're exhausted. It's about really understanding your natural rhythms and actually honoring them. When you team up with your body's wisdom instead of fighting it, your evenings transform from soul-crushing to totally energizing. Chapter 8, Making It All Stick Integration Strategies. Everything we've explored so far, it all comes together in these final integration strategies. And these aren't just bonus tips you can skip at the end. Nope, they're the actual framework that makes all the other evening practices glue together naturally. The life-work separation ritual acts as your daily bridge. See, most people try to build this giant, solid wall between work and the rest of their life. But guess what? That actually creates more tension than it fixes. Instead, what we're gonna do is build a bridge. Picture creating a 15-minute transition space. With each step across this bridge, you're moving further away from work brain and closer to life brain. A key insight about boundaries, it's not about building big, scary walls at all. Think about training a puppy for a second. You know how gentle, consistent guidance works way better than yelling harsh rules? That's exactly what we're doing here. When work tries to sneak its way into your evening, and trust me, it will try, don't get into a wrestling match with it. Simply guide your attention back to your personal life, just like you gently guide a puppy back to its cozy bed. Finally, we get to the thing that ties everything together, the whole life integration framework. Your evening isn't just some random, separate chunk of your life. It's actually the literal foundation of it. Every single thing you do in the evening is either building up your life's energy or draining it. The secret sauce is choosing activities that fill your cup, creating spaces that make your spirit do a little dance, and building relationships that literally light up your world. When you do this consistently, your evening turns into this beautiful daily celebration of the awesome person you're becoming. And hey, if you actually liked this video and didn't just scroll through the whole time, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and smash the like button. Also, seriously, let me know your thoughts on all this stuff I just spilled. Oh, and P.S., there's more. I just started a Patreon thingy to help support these videos and maybe chat with you more directly. Check out the link in the description if you're feeling brave enough to join. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.